Assalamu alaikum, soldier.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Yes, sir. We are here on the mic. It's FOI night. I
Yeah.
like these podcasts are special when it's just FOI on the mic, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
It's just the actual brotherhood on the mic, and people get to see two brothers popping off. And we got different generations, different perspectives, different
get the old
experience.
man's perspective.
That's right. Get the new naive, and my naivety serves me well because I am immune to anything that any past incidents, trauma that have happened. It's not my business, bro.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. You
And-
get these new waves of new energy, and then that's what propels us forward, right?
That's what propels us forward, and that's why I kind of look at all the experience that I have, and I try to use it as a form of just counseling and information for young brothers who are, pushing the program and
Exactly.
trying to do big things, and just be there to support.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Let's open up. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, and Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for divine aid. Guide us on the right path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not upon whom thy wrath has been brought down, nor upon those who go astray. O Allah, thank you for guiding us in these times. Guide this flow, guide this hour, these hours. Have us speak on the topics you wish us to speak on, and loosen the knot from our tongues. We love and serve you alone. Ameen. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think the topics that we have been talking about has been really about it just comes down to the work. It's like who is really willing to put in the work required to build the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because it's one thing to talk about it, and we're very good at talking about it. And you and I, we talk too. We like to talk too. We talk. We like to
There's
talk.
some dialogue that has to occur,
It has to.
right?
And communication is the lifeblood in a relationship. It's the lifeblood of military operations. It's the lifeblood of nation building. You got to be in constant flow of communication between departments, between chambers, between silos and pillars of information and intelligence. Has to be a formalized, free-flowing information. And both of us work to corporate, and we understand how the white man's corporate world works, how his military works, and that's why it's the most powerful, most effective entity on the planet.
100%.
And it's
Without a doubt.
clean, objective communication, chain of command. So as long as we embody that and then respect chain of command, respect military, and set up channels of communication, we're going to be all right. We're going to have opposition, but opposition, like you told me the other day, the haters, knowing that there's haters out there, it's a sign that you're doing something great, but it's also an opportunity to see where there is a potential weakness.
Yeah, I mean,
because haters are the best at pointing out flaws.
yeah, I mean, haters, and like we talked about, haters are very valuable
Yeah,
if you have the right attitude.
that's right.
So if you're trying to improve yourself, if you're trying to do the best that you can, the people around you are usually more supportive, right? So if you're trying to accomplish something and I care about you and I'm supportive, then I'll settle on the best part, right?
That's right.
But the hater doesn't do that. The hater will look for any little flaw, right? It could be the smallest flaw, like the example that we had talked about. You have a person going out to a formal where you have to really dress up. And I mean,
It's a good one.
this person is just dressed to the T. Gucci suit, red bottom shoes, beautiful shirt, tie, haircut. And everybody is telling him how magnificent he looks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hater looks and goes, look, man, you got a thread on the bottom of your pants. How can you have on a $2,000 suit and have a thread on the bottom of your pants? Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
The hater can see that one little flaw.
Yeah.
But then you say, well, would he look better with that thread off of there?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would look better. So the hater is there to point out any little flaw.
Yeah.
And that actually sometimes it's what you need.
That's what you need.
Just thank you, hater.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And then keep on pushing.
That keep it pushing and treat it like, the little birds that pick off bugs off an elephant, bro. It's like,
That's
okay,
it.
thanks, nigga. You got it, bro.
Yes, sir. That's
got
right.
it. But the elephant is unfazed, and the elephant keeps pushing.
Right. The elephant keeps on progressing.
Keeps pushing.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what you want, right?
Exactly.
Progress. So.
Progress. And anytime when you're inserting order into a chaotic environment, you're going to get feedback. You're going to get blow up. That's the nature of the Big Bang. That's the nature of inserting order into chaos. The chaos of nothing, God inserted order. That was a fight, and we fought.
Yeah.
And because of our decision to go into battle collectively, we're facing feedback. There's positive, negative. Together, that's energy, and we're using our objective as gods is to use that energy to propel the next move. And the next do, and then to bring others caught up in the sweep of that energy propulsion into our program.
100%.
In our program, it's the nation. This is modernization. This is in modern times. Quick moving, fast thinking, up to the modern times.
All the way up to the modern times.
This is what it is. Up into Instagram, up into content, up into promotion, up until MMA, which is modern fighting, which is that's what it is. So we're doing it all, and there's no reason why we can't be in these venues, and we are.
Yes,
and we're being put in position by Allah Himself to really capture His people, because we have a responsibility to get 17 million or more and the 2 million Indians, and we are going to use all available channels to do that, and we are. Period.
Right. That's the job, right?
That's the job.
As a savior.
That's the job.
So just as we view, in the Christian religion, and you view Christ as the Savior.
That's right.
Right? And those who follow Christ then should be Christ-like. You should be many saviors.
That's right.
Go out and do the same work. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Just bring people to freedom, justice, and equality. Bring them to a better life.
Yeah.
Bring them to money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life.
That's right. Yeah. And it is possible. And we're using this platform. We don't have to preach. All we have to do is perform and execute. And that's why, one thing that attracts to the nation is, what are we called? Laborers.
Right.
Because you should be busy. You should be working.
Always working.
Work.
Talk about work.
Yeah.
The messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, would teach that the answer to any problem that you have in life is work.
That's right.
You sick? Get up and go to work. You broke? Get up and go to work.
That's right.
You depressed? Good. Get up. Go to work.
That's right.
Right? And you always find a laborer. You should find him working.
That's right. Bro. And that's how that's our distinguishing characteristic of soldiers in the nation. Of laborers is like, okay, you should be busy. And that's how the real ones. It's like they are productive.
Yeah.
And their movements are facilitating whatever campaign or everything they're going on at all times. So that's my litmus test. It's like, okay, what do you got going on? Okay, cool. All right. Then maybe now I'll listen to you.
Right. And then I think, it's up to all of us to find out kind of like, what's your niche?
For real.
Right. We can't do everything.
Not at all.
And it's up to each individual because when we talk about, well, what is the nation?
Yeah.
Right? The nation is not just registered believers. The nation is just all of us.
That's right.
Right here in this wilderness, striving.
That's right.
And we all should be doing something for the advancement of the people. And you got to choose, like, what do you want to call yourself? What's your expertise? What is your heart drive you toward?
For real.
Like for me, I focus mainly on three things. Like, I'm educated as a finance person, right?
Finance professional. Yes, sir.
So finance, okay, I'm pretty good at that. I can help with that. And then I have a passion for martial arts.
Yes, sir.
Fighting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can help and teach and train there. And then I have a huge passion for health and wellness.
Yes, sir.
So I try to take those three things
Yeah.
and make a difference.
Thanks.
And like for you, and I know one of yours is agriculture.
Absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Finance,
There you go.
MMA, and martial arts.
See?
Yeah.
So we came together on martial arts.
Absolutely. Put in actual work on that front. That's where we started. That's where we started, and it's a beautiful thing because martial arts is warfare. So that's how we enter the battlefield. Okay, we had a campaign. It was effective. It served our military objectives, and now we're here. And now we have the whole universe to plug and play with other stuff as it suits our interests.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
As we build that administration to facilitate our campaign. Because at the end of the day, we're two individuals right now. Marquise, you and I, three individuals.
Absolutely.
But what do we look like with production team, campaign team, all of that? And a proper and formal administration. And think about this, and I mentioned this to you earlier. All the nation all the nation, it's administration.
Yes.
It's the black man's, it's the Asiatic man's administration right now in North America, but it's going to be a galactic enterprise. That's what rulership ultimately means if you're a god.
Yeah.
But you have to manage self before you start talking about galaxies. You know what I'm
It
saying?
has to happen internally.
It
first.
does, and we're at that level right now, and that's why the Messager's teachings doesn't talk about galactic rulership. It talks about one meal a day, discipline, get yourself together.
Right.
Right.
Win the battle and overcoming, the devil within.
That's right.
And once you do that, then you can start trying to affect those around you, starting
right.
with your family and then starting with your community and your neighborhood and your nation.
That's right.
So it starts with self.
It starts with self.
Yeah.
And we're still at that point. And we're just starting up that engine as a people. You've been starting it up, kicks and starts. But you and I both know it's like find a better program than Elijah House program. There is no program. There is no program.
No, I mean, it's none that I could think of.
No.
So when you talk about Elijah
For collective advancement.
Yeah, when you talk about Elijah Muhammad's program, people come into the nation in many different ways, right? And some come in like I came in this way. I converted. I call it converting yourself, meaning I came into the nation and I said, I wonder if this stuff is right. I mean, it sounds really good.
It sounds good.
But I wonder if it's all right.
Is it true and exact?
So my job was to prove what I had faith in as being wrong.
No, seriously.
So, okay, is this the best program?
It's the
Let me
scientific method.
go and test everything about it. And that's what a scientist does.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, the nation's language, right? We call it the scientists. We don't call it angels or councils. We call it the scientists, right? What's the scientific method? The scientific method is we have a process and we want to prove that it's factual, right? That it's true.
Mm-hmm.
So we make a hypothesis and we formulate a theory. Now we have to test it. We test the theory in order to try to prove the theory wrong, meaning we want to do everything in order to prove this theory wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we do that? Because if we want to promote this theory as being correct and give it to the people as being correct, then we want to make sure that it actually is. So it has to pass all the tests of us trying to prove it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And in the scientific method, that's how they come up with, say, cancer treatments, or that's how they come up with, forms of government.
Yeah.
You try different things.
That's right.
That's how you come up with, say, agricultural processes.
That's right.
Test it out.
That's right.
See if it works.
Yes, sir.
And that's kind of what I did. I couldn't find a better program than the economic blueprint
No.
that he set out. And if you want to look at it from a practical standpoint, which I'm telling you, Brother Adam, to this day, I don't understand how he isn't given more credit for what he built, right? For the nation that Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad built.
You don't understand? Well,
I don't understand.
Well, because
How he could be totally ignored.
Because the people that control the flow of information don't want to highlight the solution to
Just
just
sad.
to usurping. It's not sad. It's understandable, given that why would white people want to just put the solution to enslavement on a golden platter for us to see? They're like, nah, keep that. Let them figure that shit out themselves. We're not going to give you. We'll give you Martin Luther
Okay.
King. We're not going to give you that.
I get that.
Which is why you couldn't find him in one of the biggest libraries in the country.
No, at the time I was a student at USC, and I'm telling you, I worked at Doheny Library, so I lived in the black book section. Right? I didn't see any books from him there, but what kind of bothers me is when you have the woke, or say the conscious community, when they start naming, inspirational or influential black
I
leadership.
feel you. Yeah.
Like not even a shout out, bro.
No, that's real.
So they don't teach you about Toussaint Louverture, sure, okay, but they mention him.
Yeah, but you're not going to mention Elijah
Not gonna
Muhammad.
mention Elijah Muhammad.
Someone who put in the most work. Like, as far as the work produced, the production, not even close.
Not
Why do you think
Not
that is?
even close.
There's a reason. Why do you think that is? Is it fear? No, for real.
I think the reason that he can't be mentioned is the same reason why the Honorable Louis Farrakhan now is being ignored. So if you look at the history, right, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stood up in the early 80s and started doing the work of rebuilding the nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it started from the ground up, and then the movement kind of swelled.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, say in the late 80s and the early 90s, you could find a minister all over C-SPAN.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the Donahue Show, which was the biggest talk show during that time. Sally Jesse Raphael, I think he was on that show. I mean, he was on with Mike Wallace, 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Minister was on all over the TV, all over the radio, all over the news. Why? Because they said, oh, we're going to expose this guy. Mike Wallace is going to take care of him.
Yeah.
Donahue will take care of him. People can see that he's not for real.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah.
And the minister absolutely shined.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they do? We got to ignore this guy.
Just ignore it.
That's
That's
a
true.
military tactic.
It's a military tactic. What they do, not be very clear, because I watch this stuff. I'm like, okay, they ignore most of it, and then they'll have one or two articles that just mention keywords, anti-Semite, so that people who
Sound bites,
little sound bites, and just tag it with stuff that'll turn people off. It's usually homophobic, anti-Semite. A couple articles. That's
Right.
it. And then that way, people who want to know will see those trigger words and be like, "Oh, I ain't touching that. I ain't touching that.
Yep.
Nope, that's a bad guy. I ain't touching that."
It's just like
It's a military out, bro.
It's military.
It's military.
It's like the nation in the 60s. Now, if you study the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teachings, he never refers to us ever as black Muslims.
Never.
But the media always refer to us as black movement, black Muslims.
Black Muslims.
Why?
Yep.
Why did they use that particular? Because that was a negative connotation back then. Nobody wanted to be black.
Yeah.
Remember, we called ourselves Negroes and Afro Americans and African Americans. And black was negative connotation. Yeah, that's the black Muslims.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. Put a negative connotation, put a negative name on those guys, and then no one would want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember the minister would always have to deal with the same soundbite over and over. Oh, you said the Jews were a gutter religion or something.
Yeah, that's one.
But he never even said that.
Yeah.
Right? They pasted a soundbite together. So they take a soundbite and just keep hammering it.
Yeah. No.
Right? And they're doing it to some degree with Kanye. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
You know,
Yeah,
tactic.
same exact tactic. Yeah.
Use it over and over.
Yeah.
And it works on the Negro every time.
It works on the Negro every time. And it's just the Negro is his MO is fear. He fears his slave master. He fears the people who run and control his life, and he fears the little crumbs that he gets to sustain his miserable livelihood.
Right.
So he fears losing a little that he has. So as soon as he sees one of those words, oh, I ain't touching that.
And the key is kind of like what you just mentioned. I was talking to a brother the other day, and he said that. So you said he fears, losing his miserable livelihood.
Yeah.
Well, to him, it's not so miserable.
That's right.
Know why? Because he thinks that's the best that he can do.
Nah, for real.
And he needs this society or this country in order to accomplish that.
No,
Like
facts.
under this government, this is the best I can do. I
No,
don't want to
seriously.
rock this boat. I don't
No,
want to go
for
out
real.
on my own and try to do something and build for my own and do for self.
Nah, for real.
And that's the whole nature of being a Negro,
Yeah.
right? Root word is dead, right?
Dead.
He thinks that's the best that he can do.
Yeah.
So why change?
Yeah. There's literally no incentive to change until someone comes in and changes the paradigm in which you live. And that's what the teachings do. It's like, wait, oh shit, I don't gotta play this game. Oh, this ain't my game. Oh, I'm being played. Oh, I'm still a slave. Oh, you go through those levels of awareness. You're like, oh shit.
Right.
Oh, they got me. They got me. And at that point, you're forced to a choice. It's like, am I gonna just put my fingers in my ears and close my eyes and just go with the matrix, or am I gonna go out there and do for self?
There it is. Right.
There's your choice. And me being intelligent, I'm gonna say intelligent, someone who's always willing to study to find answers. I've always had that about my life. Always did my homework. Always worked hard.
Right.
Always was willing to study to find the right answer. So someone like that, which is me, who's faced that dilemma, is like, I've got to be a man. I've got to do for self. How do I do that? Okay, well, here's the platform. Let's join the nation. Let's get it cracking.
Right.
And then you grow into levels of understanding of like, it's not just you and your intention. There's other things going against what you want to. And then you realize, oh, yeah, war. This war is real. Oh, they don't want niggas to come up. Oh, their move, and we talked about, the option side of the nation, but the option just of the black man in general is like, make us irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Make us irrelevant, demasculinize, feminize, take away our masculinity. So we don't want to out there go survive, conquer, kill, etc. to do what needs to get done. Mostly just build. Take that away, make us irrelevant, and then cart us off to a quick and early death around 68. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything? You got anything to add about like what how they handle us as black men, like their op?
Well, what I can speak on with say scientific fact is how they cart us off and send us to an early death through lifestyle.
Boom.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, and the black man in particular is the human being on the planet who dies the fastest, right? How does that occur? Like, how does the black man in a first world country visit the grave at such an early age, right? The average black man dies in his kind of mid to early 70s on an average. How does that happen? And it's largely, predominantly due to lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the lifestyle agents that contribute to this pathway of an early death? Okay. The first one is nutrition, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the diet, and I'm talking from soul food, right? If you drive through the black neighborhoods and see It's fast food on mostly every corner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What does this food do to us? Like, why is it so dangerous to eat this food? Why is it found to be so important to put this type of food in our neighborhoods? Right? So the first thing is nutrition, right? The second thing is, if you look at black neighborhoods, it's a very stressful and violent environment on average, right? What is living in stress and violence and anxiety? What does that do? And how does that affect you in terms of your longevity?
Yeah.
Do you know living in that type of environment causes chemical reactions in your brain that releases enzymes that drive you to an early death? So you have the way we eat, and then the mental state that we're put in and the way we think.
Yeah.
You couple that together, and you're cutting at least an extra 10 years.
At least. Oh.
Off the top, right? Because, say, the population in general can average
82.
early 80s. And we don't get that as black men.
Nah, hell no.
Right? So you keep an unhealthy population.
Yeah.
So then you have an unhealthy population. It's really hard, Adam, to go out and work for freedom, justice, and equality, and you're sick.
It's very difficult.
You got high blood pressure.
Yeah.
You got diabetes. You're coming down with Parkinson's, so you can't think as clearly. Alzheimer's, right? Affecting your memory.
Yeah.
You're coming down with arthritis and rheumatism.
Yeah.
You're in pain a lot.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to go out and think about building a nation when you're trying to manage all these diseases in your own body.
Facts. Well, and while at the same time making your white pharmaceutical slave master rich. No, for real. It's just like, no, they got you. They're killing you and they're profiting you at the same time. It's a cold game, bro. It's a cold. That's what managed. Think about this. That's what managed healthcare is. That's the function of managed healthcare. Like, we're gonna manage you, nigga. We're gonna put you on that Medicare.
If you look at the functionality, right, of the medical industry, like what is it there to do? When you go to school to be a doctor, you spend very little or no time, say, on nutrition or holistic medicine or how to heal people without the use of pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Right? The whole job of a doctor is to treat trauma for a profit.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's it.
Right?
No, that's
how to treat trauma for profit.
Thanks.
So, if you get into a car accident, or you fall down and bang your head, or if you break a limb, or say you're having complications, say with pregnancy, breech, birth, or something, you need something stitched up.
Psychotic break. That's dramatic.
Right? So they treat those conditions. Well, if I eat fried food all the time, and my cholesterol levels start to rise, and I go to the doctor, he's not going to tell me anything. My clients tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
Right? They'll come in and they'll give me their blood work, and I'll see that their cholesterol levels are rising. Well, I know what that's going to end up doing. Cholesterol is very sticky. So you have LDL cholesterol, right? And you have ApoB cholesterol, which is part of your LDL cholesterol, that stays in your blood, has a tendency to stay in your blood when you have high levels of it. Yeah. Those stick to your arteries, or to the walls of your arteries, clogs up your arteries, it causes you to have heart problems. Yeah. But before that happens, you'll start to see in your blood work elevated cholesterol. Well, at the time I see your cholesterol start to elevate, then I'm going to start working on getting those numbers down so you can be healthy. But your doctor isn't really concerned about that. That's not a part of his business model to keep your cholesterol down.
No.
So you're going to come in and he's going to see your blood work. And if your cholesterol is not, if your combined cholesterol isn't over 200, he's going to say, oh, Adam, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets over 200, you're in big trouble, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need medicine. And that's when he said, hey, Adam, hey, you're here. You're over 200 now. All right, I can treat you. Here's your pharmaceuticals. Mm-hmm. Here's your open heart surgery. Here, I'm about to clean out your arteries. Well, why didn't you tell him that years ago? How to keep it low? It's not my job.
It's not my job.
It's not my job.
Yeah, it's not my job.
So we find that for all, say, what they call age-related diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, you're not facing any of that. You're still a young man.
Mm-hmm.
But you find men my age, which I'm a couple years from 60,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all diabetes,
Yeah.
high blood pressure, usually cholesterol levels are very high.
Parkinson's. Mm-hmm.
Right? Strokes,
Yep.
heart attacks.
Yeah, at that time.
But now is the time, Adam, for you, because I usually suggest to clients, once you get 30 years old, start watching that stuff. Get your blood work done. Like I get my blood work done every 3 months.
Yeah, okay.
At least minimum once a year.
Understood.
Take it to a professional. Let him do a blood work analysis, and then you learn from him how to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
To look at your own biomarkers and say, hey, where am I at health-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Because look at all the things you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going out and challenging, a government and trying to get budget money for farmland.
Facts. Period. Full stop.
We don't need you saying, I can't do it this week because I got to go to dialysis.
No, sir.
Hey, Adam, we got to go down here and fly to Sacramento. You got to go speak on our behalf. Well, I can't fly because my blood pressure is
no good.
really high.
No, that's not. That ain't
and
the
I
move.
can't remember what you said because I got Parkinson's.
That ain't the move, bro. It's not.
Whoa.
It's not the move.
I'm telling you.
Not it's real.
If we live a certain way, if we live a certain lifestyle, we're going to all end up in there.
Fact.
At that position.
For real. For real.
And then we lose the knowledge. Mm-hmm. Just think how much knowledge a person 60 years old, 70 years old has.
No, for real.
That you can kind of pick their brain.
Yeah, it's game. It's game. Which is why you're here. Okay.
Right.
Well, it's got game. Hell, lay it on. Give it to me. All of it. All of
it. Then what if I'm not quite lucid? Like,
that's not. That you do me no good, and you're wasting my time at that point.
It's no good. I can't contribute. I can't help you.
No, sir.
So who you gonna go to? Enemy to get help?
For real?
Their universities? They're gonna help you
up to a certain point.
Degree,
to a certain
but
point.
It's not gonna help you.
Yeah. And their attitude is like, I'll be nice. I'm not gonna put you on, bro. I'm not about to facilitate the demise of my kingdom, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, bro. You gotta do that shit by yourself. And that's the attitude of like white people that know what time it is and see it. It's like, I'm not gonna help y'all. I mean, I'll be nice and be professional, but I'm not about to really accelerate the process. Like, damn, bro, come on. This is my time.
Yeah. And in order to really accelerate the process, has to be institutions set up, right?
Boom.
That those institutions are dedicated to like the advancement of Black people.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
At Princeton, it's just not going to happen.
I mean, the institutions are designed, and sometimes it's not all for malicious reasons.
No.
Sometimes they might think, well, this is what's best for you, right? We'll support, say, the NAACP and try to get you integrated into our society.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, what if we want to try something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if we want to try to say build up our communities with industries that are controlled by the people that live in our communities.
Yeah.
Nah. We're not gonna support
come on.
that.
We're not gonna do that.
But we will, give you a college scholarship and then give you a certain amount of jobs in our corporations.
Facts. And you and I have taken advantage of both of those.
Right. And then you kind of run into the problem that Kanye's running into.
Boom.
Right?
No, for real.
At the end of the day. Because I understand where he's coming from. And
we understand. If you understand the game, it's like, I feel it. I understand.
And I don't focus more on what he says because everyone has an opinion. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one.
Everyone's got it.
And whatever your opinion is about Jewish people or black people or the man on the moon or whatever your opinion is about anything.
Yeah.
This is how the human mind works. Whatever you believe, that's the truth.
No, for real.
Now, let's start at that. The messenger said, you can believe whatever you want to.
That's real.
Messenger said, you can believe it's an airplane on my doorstep right now. Adam, it's an airplane on my doorstep right now. You say, come on, Walt. I said, no, Adam, for real.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there, you don't see an airplane. Mm-hmm. But I believe it's one out there. You know why it is that if you believe something is true, then it actually is true? Because what you believe dictates your behavior.
Absolutely.
So say I know a person who's afraid of dogs. Mm-hmm. They knock on the door, they come in the house and you have a dog.
Yeah.
And this dog runs up to them and they run out of the house scared to death. And all that dog wanted to do was lick them and get pet. Mm-hmm. But they believed that dog was vicious.
Yeah.
So they behaved as if they were behaving in a way to combat a vicious dog.
Yeah.
So whatever you believe, that's the truth.
Absolutely.
In your mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem. When what you believe is true doesn't correlate to the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when your behavior doesn't align with actual reality.
That's right.
So so I don't care. Okay, Kanye can say whatever he said, right? They told you in the Constitution that you have freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. And you actually do. Mm-hmm. But you're not free of consequences.
No, nobody is.
Meaning when you exercise your right of free speech, which you have, some things you say, it's going to be consequences.
That's right.
It's going to be consequences.
That's going to be consequences.
So now this is the difference. If you're partnered up with a group of people, mm-hmm. and as in Kanye's case, you have this, $1 billion partnership mm-hmm. with huge companies, right? Yeah. That are run, say, by Jewish people or white people. Some may even be run by black people, all types of people, right? Mm-hmm. And you say something that offends your business partner. Now, you've been in business with these people for a while. You haven't been talking like this. Now, all of a sudden, you're taking some position. Mm-hmm. Whether what you say is right or wrong or indifferent, it doesn't matter. It's just like me. If I showed up at my job and go, I've been at my job for a long time. All of you, you're a bunch of a-holes. You all suck. Now, I just want to go back to my office in peace and get my next paycheck. Oh, wait, sir.
Wait, whoa, no.
Doesn't work like that.
We're going to speak with HR.
Right.
We're going to have a conversation.
What you said was offensive.
Yeah.
What you said was against company policy. It could be bullying. It could be anti-whatever.
Facts. There's consequences for speaking a certain way at work, as there should be.
Right.
That's what it is.
So when he spoke a certain way against the people that actually he was contracted with for these billions, because he didn't make himself a billionaire.
No, sir.
He didn't make himself a billionaire.
No.
Then those people now can change the game for him.
And they have.
You remember what it said? The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
That's right.
Well, the Lord, he was on the taketh away side now. They gave him the billions, and the same people that gave him the billions now take it away. Now,
and it was all, as you know, it was all future cash flows and contracted billions. So it was paperwork.
It's paper.
It was paper. It was paper.
It's paper. He didn't have liquid assets.
No, hell no. By no stretch. So it's just how I was just like, when that didn't faze me, because I'm like, if you, Kanye, what you have done, it's like, okay, now you're putting yourself in a position to truly do for self. Are you willing to put in the work? Right? You feel me? And that's why I have reserved judgment on the situation.
Nope.
I'm just like, no, you feel me? I'm like, there's like, on both sides, I'm not judging anybody. I'm like,
No.
on the power side,
It
I'm
is
like,
what it is.
It is what it is. I feel you. Okay, you don't want to associate with those statements, and I feel you. And then Kanye, I feel you. You're not lying. I'm just like, are you prepared to grapple with the consequences, and then, cool, this building. This platform to do for self, it takes administration, yeah? It takes a lot of work. Are you willing to do the work? And I'm glad we're talking, because are you willing to make the sacrifice and actually work? Are you willing to actually go to the gym and train to be a fighter, or you just want to be a fighter?
Right.
You know? And then it's all, this is where we're at now. It's like, okay, cool. All that shit happened. Are you going to work now? You want to work? Like, do the actual work of nation building? Because when you make moves and talk like this, that's nation talk, bro. It's nation talk, bro.
And it's just, man, you just hit the nail right on the head.
Talk, bro.
You said that you reserve judgment because you understand both sides' position.
I understand.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. I understand. So we're not saying this side is right, this side is wrong.
No, hell
you can say it if you want to, but that's fine.
That's your feelings.
That's your feelings.
That's your feelings.
Right?
I'm a military.
This is like business.
This is business.
But what he said, what he said was the truth. We're not arguing that. We're arguing that, they can respond to his truth in any way they want it. It's contracted, you settle this in court. But the biggest thing that you pointed to, you didn't get to be a billionaire by doing for self. You partnered up with them.
No, for real.
Now you're not going to have their help. Are you willing to do that hard work of building it on your own now?
For real.
So if you look at
it could happen.
It's just like you said, you have to reserve judgment because he could be like, dude, I'm totally prepared.
Oh, boom. And that's why, I'm just like, now you put yourself in a position where you got to prove yourself. Like me taking that fight, it's like, shit, all right, go nigga, prove it.
and now, okay, let's make the comparison between the two. I'm your brother.
Yeah.
So I'm taking your attitude. Okay, that's what you want to do. Let's go in here and do it. In my mind, I'm like, oh my God. This can be a disaster.
This could be a disaster.
I love him. He's my brother, and I got to go be a part of the potential disaster. But this could be a disaster.
But that's the nature of that's what makes.
But that's the chance you took, right?
Risk. Yeah.
So
risk,
now, what are the odds, right?
Yeah, that's real.
Because it's always a probability that it could happen either way.
Facts.
The probability is against Kanye, we know. And the biggest factor for me is
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying probability-wise. I don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Understood.
But if you was a betting man, if you say what bet would get you the best odds? This is an old saying. It's how you start. It's how you finish.
I feel you.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started independent.
Yeah.
And worked his way up independent.
Nah, that's real.
Mr. Farrakhan can say the same things Kanye says.
Boom.
And won't lose a dime.
Boom.
Because what he's built and where his blessings come from is not them.
Facts.
So if they get mad, they have a misunderstanding. All they can say is, we're so mad, we don't like Farrakhan.
We don't like Farrakhan.
They can't cut off any blessing.
No stretch.
Because the way Minister Farrakhan started
Yeah.
is the way he finished.
Facts.
So now you're saying this Kanye started in bed with them,
No, for real. Yeah.
partnered up with them.
Contracted. No, contracted.
Now you're saying you're going to do that for a long time to the tune of over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, nah, I'm good. Screw you guys. I'll go do it by myself. Okay.
No.
How you start?
And now I'm getting your point with the probability is not in his favor. Objectively.
Objective.
No,
but I'm
objective.
saying,
No, I'm feeling you.
he can totally be ready for the challenge.
For real.
And I'm pulling for him.
No, you and I both, and I'm ready to support because this is what I see. This is
Well, I'm not going to buy. I'm not buying Adidas.
no.
I mean, not that, maybe that might make a difference, maybe not. But just personally, I'll just wait until he comes out with something.
Yeah,
I'll support that.
No, for real, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I was like, all right, bro, like, come on.
I'll support 100%.
What do you bring into the marketplace now, bro? Like, what are you bringing?
Like, even if it's kind of ugly, just I'll try to support.
No, I
as much
mean,
as I
but
can.
like I have like the thing is like when it comes to the art, like he I'll give him credit. Like he got some fire music, and then them slides is dope.
Yeah,
Them shoes is dope.
He's
It's nice.
very creative.
He got it. He got it.
Yeah,
he got it, bro.
He's creative and worthy of support. It's just okay. What's the next move?
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, regardless of the next move, you need a team, and you got to have people willing to work with you.
Oh, he's gonna have to learn that fast.
No, for real. And I thing is, we don't know, brother. We don't know. Maybe
he's got that all set up.
Maybe it's all set up right now. Maybe they're making the moves.
Because you need infrastructure
For
to
real,
do that.
you need administration, infrastructure, all that. You're just a creative, bro. You need admin, you need executives, you need all that, bro. And are you willing? The thing is, I don't want to call him a I've seen narcissistic tendencies where you just frame everything in the world of through your lens and the inability to view it through other perspectives. I've seen those tendencies. I'm not gonna call him a narcissist, but I'm like, okay, bro, those people. It's hard to build empires and administration around those personalities. It's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just like, okay, Kanye, I see. These are all things I'm observing from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing and able to put the time it takes and the patience to execute a tactful and strategic campaign and strategy? Here, he is running for president. So I'm like, if all of this is a ruse to get on that platform, I'm like, okay, all right.
He's what?
He's running for president.
Okay.
2024. So like he ran last time. I actually voted for him.
Okay.
And
It's more symbolic, right?
It was just like, okay, well, I don't personally like Biden, and I'm not
Right.
I have too much class to vote for Trump. That's what it comes down to, right? I'm just like, okay, Kanye's running, fuck it.
Yeah. If I
yeah.
gotta cast a ballot.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where like I will only vote if the other stuff I've got going on is not going to get in the way. I voted today, right? The 18th. Today was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I've never. I mean, just as a point, I've never voted ever
Wow, never.
in my life.
Wow.
Even pre-nations. Never.
Wow.
voted. I've
Never voted?
No.
Wow.
No. When I was, it's so funny. When I was on USC's campus, prior to going there, I came from the hood. I came from, LA,
Yeah.
South Central.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to SC. So prior to going to college, the only relationship I'd ever had with white people was authority figures, like I had teachers or whatever running with the police or something like that.
Yeah.
Then when I went to college and saw, white peers, it was kind of a culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
A huge culture shock. It's like, wow, like this is a pretty intense, like negative, kind of hateful environment sometimes, like a lot of racism.
Yeah,
a lot. I remember being in class as a freshman watching the movie Birth of a Nation. Remember that movie?
The old one, right?
Yeah.
20, of course.
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
And then we broke into discussion, and it was a group of white students trying to tell me how beneficial slavery was.
What year is this?
This was 82.
Okay, understood.
I was a freshman.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Reagan, right? Reagan.
And they were explaining it, and they were saying, you know, you guys got educated, you got to be around civilized people, and we took care of you. And I was like, whoa, right? So that was my like introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the courtyard on Mondays, the young Republicans would be out, and I would go out and listen to them and discuss, mostly play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesdays, the young Democrats would be out and doing the same thing, promoting the Democratic Party, you know, dogma. And I would go listen to them. And then they would all be together at the frat party. And they'd just be partying.
Mm-hmm.
And their dads knew each other. And they'd go to lunch together. And they'd go to class together. And they'd hug and kiss one another. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
These are the same people. They don't care. Democrat, Republican, they're all in bed together.
Oh, boom.
So that gave me just a whole negative feeling about the political landscape. It's like, this is a farce.
I mean,
like and then as I kind of,
it's the show.
Yeah, as I kind of grew up and learned, at Baskin Robbins, you get 31 flavors to choose from.
Yeah.
On your ballot for president, you basically only get two viable candidates.
You get two.
You mean I can pick more ice cream? So do I really have a choice then?
That's real.
And then they all come from these Ivy League schools, right?
Yeah.
Even the black one, right? He went to...
You talk about Obama, right?
Yeah, Princeton, Harvard, one of them. They all go to the same schools, study... Zavinsky, that was his favorite professor. You ever read some of his books?
Zabrinsky?
Yeah, Zavinsky.
Is that the foreign policy guy?
Yeah, the foreign policy guy. That was Obama's favorite professor. So I had already read his books. I'm like, ooh, okay. They all study the same material. They all under the same professors, the same advisors. So it's really a one-party government. But what I find most disheartening about this government, there's no workers' party. There's no party to represent the workers.
I understand.
Which is the majority of us, right?
Workers, yeah.
So I just never saw a candidate or a platform that I was willing to vote for.
I understand. Yeah.
Now, not saying that that's right. I'm saying that
it's not. It's
especially on a local level. It's some local legislation that I don't know I should participate in.
That's your call.
Yeah.
But
I've never voted.
No. Yeah, that's your call. Yeah, and it's like because I mean, I'll make the argument for you because it could directly impact your life.
It could.
And then I will say that like you do have a say, and like your vote does matter because it's one voice of the collective. So.
Yeah, but it matters for what though? Like it matters for what? Is it gonna give me freedom, justice, and equality?
Oh hell no!
Okay,
no
then
stretch.
that's what I want.
Yeah. Man.
So if you say, well, Lazarus, it'll get you some crumbs.
I'm good.
I'll play that on my own.
I'll play another game, and you.
I mean, I can get that on my own. Artist, like me not voting. What does it cost me? But what? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but with Kanye. I don't know, man. I'm wishing him.
No, I'm operating objectively, reserving judgment. I'm also realizing he has presented, and militarily, that okay, this is an opportunity to actually speak about power. Niggas is talking about power now, and I can't say just having been on the hustled and been on the streets and like heard the vibe. Our people are with Kanye first and foremost, and he's forcing important questions. We have to grapple with power, and like we were talking about before the podcast, like okay, cool. Jews have power, a lot of power. They run shit. Okay, cool. You called it out. What now?
Right.
Cool. What are you gonna do about that?
Yeah.
What work are you going to do to duplicate what they're already doing? And it serves them well, and you can't hate them because they built a kingdom that serves their interests, bro.
And when you look at what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, he taught us to study them, try to duplicate.
Facts, bro.
You know, how they work together, how they
Facts.
don't make excuses,
No,
right?
no, by no stretch.
And maybe we might get that out of it.
No, and I've gotten that, and how because I grew up, lived in Buffalo, so knew a lot of Jews there as a younger boy, elementary
New York.
school, New York, Buffalo, New York, and then when I went to Pitt, a lot of Jews, and I was an accounting major. Like my best teachers were Jews.
Yeah, that's what they do.
My best what they do. That's what they do. They wrote the book on finance and accounting, and
Yes.
my best teachers were Jews, and like my best, like you have collaborative partner projects. I would go, I'll fuck with the Jews, bro, because they're smart, they're industrious, they ain't with the bullshit.
You know
they're
what, John?
funny. You feel me?
Baba Professor John Henry Clark.
Yeah.
I heard him give a lecture, and he said that he was talking about the Jew in Spain.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about when the Jew was run out of Spain.
Yeah.
Great book on that.
Inquisition, like what time frame are we talking about?
We're talking about like during the Muslim occupation.
Okay.
Okay?
So the Moors.
Jews, yeah.
Okay.
Jews were run out of Spain after that, right?
Yeah.
And he said, to this day, you cannot name one Spanish-speaking country that has a viable economy.
Wow.
The Jews were the exchequer in Spain. They're called the grandee Jew.
Yeah.
Okay, look them up when you get a chance.
Uh-huh.
Absolute experts at finance.
Yeah.
Spain's economy, doo-doo today.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
all Spanish-speaking nations, meaning every nation they took over, they made them speak Spanish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Come on, tell me about South American economy.
Hey, bro. No.
Terrible.
It's not. No.
Right?
It's not popping.
No.
It's not.
It's not popping.
It's not.
So that's how influential, they were on a finance level.
Facts.
And that's something to be lauded in my opinion.
And that's how we're both finance majors,
Right.
So we majored in we majored in that craft, bro.
Yeah.
And we know that, so it's like this shit. Fuck, this shit is nice.
Yeah.
It's a very in economics and finance, like y'all made money. You feel me? Like it's like that. Like all that. That's their mind.
Yeah. For any
And a lot of people talk with a hating. I'm like, no, this is me. Like, I respect. It's like, damn, you guys really. The monetary system is you. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, 100%.
That's what it is.
100% respect. And I mean, if you look at the history, they really developed some really cutting edge stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. No,
in
absolutely.
terms of finance.
Yeah.
Which is the backbone, right, of the nation. Any project that you come up with, you have to figure out how you're going to fund it.
Yeah, for real.
And I think that's what we kind of lack as Black America. You have this guy, like even if you look at Kanye, the amazing ideas that he has. I mean, how are we going to finance that now?
No, for real. No, seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
Adidas had no problem putting that in motion. And if you look at Adidas, I mean, Adidas has a Nazi party link.
Facts.
Right? If you talk about, so going back to Gita, right? The original shoe company from, I think that was around the turn of the century. So you had Gita, which is the shoes Jesse Owens, right? Won the Olympics in. He won the 1936 Olympics in Gita shoes.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, those two brothers came together, Adolf Dassler and Rudolf Dassler. They came together and they formed that company that made those shoes. And then those two guys fell out because Rudolf was a member of the Nazi party.
Yeah.
And his brother was not. He was against the Nazi party.
Yeah.
So they had a rift. So Adolf and Rudolf broke up.
Yeah.
And now it's no longer Gita shoes. So since they parted, they each started their own new shoe company.
Yeah.
And Adolf Dassler started Adi Das. They used to call Adolf Dassler Adi. His name was Adi Dassler, Adi Das.
Yeah.
And then his brother went on, Rudolph to form Puma.
Mm-hmm.
And they used their long time standing and ability to finance and manufacture shoes
Yeah.
to now come to this day. Now Kanye's going to have to do the same thing. He's going to have to break off,
Yeah.
just like Rudolph did.
Yeah.
Form your own shoe company then.
Assuming that it's shoes that he wants, you know? Maybe
Or wants to do.
No, for real.
or just clothing in general if he
it's
wants to
clothing,
do that.
Or is it really this presidency thing? Are you really trying to run for
Or
president?
be a politician.
See, I don't know. I don't.
That's kind of hard, right? That's going to be kind of difficult. I don't know. I don't follow him like a ton. Did he admit to any mental issues, or didn't he say he was struggling with?
He got diagnosed bipolar, but he has since come out and realized that was a label given to him to control him at a point in time of his life. So I believe that's what he has said.
Okay, well, what he's got to do then for politics, like you can't be getting drunk just saying crazy stuff on talk shows.
I disagree. Trump did it.
Okay, all right.
There's no rules in politics now. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, like I said, I'm really curious to see what are you gonna do, bro? What's the play now?
Okay,
What's the
so
plan?
all right, I can see you can disagree. All right, but Trump had the ability to unify his people enough to still get him in office.
Hey, facts. Yeah, that's real.
So like you get drunk and say stupid shit and then 10 people vote for you. Like, okay, all right, tell me the point in that. I don't know it.
Seriously, I don't
Like
know.
Trump can say what he says because he knows he can mobilize.
He's fat.
Right, he has a backing.
He's got a backing.
Like, okay, you're getting drunk saying random stuff
Random
for
shit,
what?
and then you do troll, and you do. I'm just like, okay, but I'm just like, bro,
Like,
okay,
is that good for your president candidacy?
I don't know. We'll see. We will see, and that's why, like I said, reserving judgment.
Right.
You know, what I'm saying the minister's speaking on him in a couple hours.
Yeah,
Like,
would
so
be interesting to hear
we gonna
that
see.
at 4 a.m., right? Our time.
Yeah, it's about to be 3 hours, and he's about to speak on the issue.
Super
so,
interesting
yeah,
to
it's
see,
like-
what the minister's take on this.
Absolutely, and how I see it's being used is it's an opportunity to force that conversation about power and responsibility. It's like, okay, cool, you calling out power, okay, look at what they do.
Right.
You feel me? Look at what they're doing compared to you.
Yeah.
You're benefiting from the work that they put in over generations. Okay, cool. You could call it out you could call it the negative. I'm not gonna say it's fucking. That comes with power, bro. There's good and bad that comes with fucking power.
Right.
So are you willing to put in the generational work it takes to build
that up?
To build that up?
And the whole thing about,
Come on
starting
now.
the conversation with power. So the whole speaking truth to power thing, right?
Yeah.
And I say like, Baba Clark again.
Uh,
You can speak truth to power all you want.
yeah.
You think they give a shit what you have to say? If it doesn't match their agenda, it's not speaking truth to power. It's another part to that.
Yeah.
It's you having the ability, meaning the unity,
Yeah.
to make power do what you ask them to do.
Facts.
If you can't make them do it, then they're only going to do it if it benefits
It's them. Yeah.
A politician does something, he only does things for 3 reasons. 3 reasons only. If it doesn't fit one of these 3 reasons, a politician will not do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Number 1 reason, gets them enough votes to get into office. If what you're asking them to do gets them enough votes to get into office, they'll do it. Second thing that moves them, if what you ask them to do makes them money. If you say, hey, I need you to do this for me, and it doesn't make them any money, then they're not going to do it. If what you ask them to do gets them power,
Yeah.
expands their power,
Yeah.
then they'll do it. If it doesn't, so you speaking truth to them, does it do any of those 3 things?
No.
If it doesn't, then they're not going to They're gonna do. They're gonna do what the lobbyists say do,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
the lobbyists can fund their campaigns.
fund the
What does it
campaigns.
take now, Adam? About $1 billion to become president?
What do you say?
About that?
Something like that.
I think the last several presidencies have spent about $1 billion.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, these are I haven't had to ask myself this question, so it's out of my not something I've considered. I don't know, maybe, but that sounds like it could be true.
Yeah, no. I
that sounds
think either the last Bush campaign or the first Obama campaign was the first $1 billion one.
Yeah.
And all the rest, it takes about $1 billion to become president in campaign funds. So you have to raise a whole lot of money
Yeah.
to be president.
And then I'm like, okay, once you get, and then also, and this is forward looking, but once you get there, like, what do you? Okay, what's the program? What's the program, bro?
How you gonna push it through? Because the biggest word, right? The most Googled word is bureaucracy.
Oh man, man, that's not surprising at all.
Legislation takes years and years and years to get through.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like me and Timo are living that firsthand. It's like, oh, we under
firsthand.
Now we're on the other side. Like, oh, these big changes take time.
They
oh
take
man,
time.
it takes time. It's like moving it's a Titanic.
The bigger, the government is absolutely huge. So it's got to go through like 20 trillion checks and balances.
Yep.
And then you got the people who oppose it, so they know how to stall it.
Exactly.
It's tough.
It is tough. And it's like Obama gave a good metaphor about it being like moving a Titanic, you move it 1 degree, but it takes a while. But you moved that 1 degree with that one piece of legislation, and then over time, it eventually goes in a completely new paradigm.
Right.
So, and you have to be willing to be patient with the process.
The whole theory of minimal gains, right? 1%. Say even a 0.01%
Boom.
gain every day. Well, over time, it might not. So then you have that whole idea of the theory of monotony, right? Yeah. So you that 1% change, you don't even see a difference, right? Mm-hmm. So you go to the gym and you train, and you say, "Wow, this week I got 1% better."
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You can't even see that.
Mm-hmm.
But now over the 52 weeks, wait, I got 30% better. Over the year you saw it, but it took time. So you have to be willing to put in the time and not get discouraged and not lose your faith or lose your zeal.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Because every day might seem monotonous, but over time, it's going to be a big difference.
Yeah, and that's the process of administration. That's the process of bureaucracy. That's the process of agriculture. All three are the pillars of any nation.
You don't have that, then you can't build.
You ain't got shit. You got a bunch of niggas in chaos. No, seriously.
Dependent on someone else who has those institutions.
Who has all three of those institutions set up. So and that is what it is. And if you are too arrogant to even learn the basics of these three, then what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? So that's not a slide against Kanye. That's a slide against people who want power and want to be king, but don't realize the king is a top administrator. Mm-hmm. Right? He's not just someone who just gives orders. No, it's like he's an administrator. He's an executive. It's like he understands how the system works to facilitate his program and execute his campaign. So,
and a lot of times I think, say just the average citizen might not understand how much it takes, right? And these people are pretty smart people in these positions, and they kind of mastered their field. Yeah, and just take what they know for granted, and think you can go against these people, and you don't have the requisite knowledge.
Boom.
You can challenge them without it.
No, you can't. You cannot. Like you don't have respect for that field of expertise, and you have to respect power. You have to respect power.
And Adam, I compare it all when I think about these things. I compare it all to combat. To
fighting. This is fighting. This is exactly Adam, what I thought when you said.
When I talk to people, First off, precursor. I avoid fights at all cost.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm trained martial artist. I fought in all disciplines for a long time.
Yeah.
You know why I avoid fights at all costs? Because I'm a fighter and I know how violent it is. I know how easy it is to get hurt. Like sometimes you can get hurt very seriously. Sometimes you can die.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have life-changing injuries in a combat situation. So if I'm at a bar and it's some drunk guy, or if I'm at an event and something happens, or it's experiencing road rage, I don't even look. I just keep straight, just like this.
Yeah.
Because I know the people who want to fight the quickest are usually the people who haven't spent 1 second training. And they don't know what it takes, right? And how much work it takes to be an effective fighter.
Yeah.
And they hadn't experienced the hurt and the pain, right? That you would experience when you go and train.
Yeah.
And that's what some people who, and it's not downing. I'm saying it's a certain set of knowledge that you need to be able to run a nation.
Yeah. No. Facts.
And if you don't, you got to go somewhere and learn it. Yeah, everybody, college sucks. Yeah, you just go to college. I understand. It's an aspect of a college education that's just, you just repeat, certain base knowledge that they give you in some book.
Yeah.
And you don't really have a good understanding.
Yeah.
But in general, especially graduate programs.
Yeah.
When you go back and get your master's, when you go back and get your doctorate, when you have to go to law school, when you have to go to med school, when you have to go and pass the accounting exam, and you have to do, prep work.
Yeah.
Right? Then you start to get into the understanding of how finance works, how law works, how medicine works, how government works.
That's right.
Right? You got to write theses and dissertations.
Yeah.
Make hypotheses and theories. You get a certain understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend so much time studying that.
Yeah.
The guy on the street doesn't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But the guy on the street wants to call this person bad, wicked, piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, but who are you?
Right.
You are nowhere near that realm of expertise to be having.
Understand.
You don't even understand it, bro. You understand it, but you feel you have the audacity to judge?
Right.
Are you in a position to judge rulership? Are you in a position to judge power?
Right. And it's
you know what I'm saying?
People get in arguments with me about, college education and value of a college education, and say, well, it's kind of hard for you to make assumptions when you haven't went. It's like me making assumptions about, your job as a plumber. I have no idea.
I wouldn't.
Right. I'd be afraid to, because I don't have the knowledge.
I'd be afraid to, and I wouldn't do it. And I respect plumbers for that reason. It's like, oh, y'all got it. Y'all are experts in that field.
Yeah.
I submit.
Have to.
I submit. Just like we submit to a judo black belt. I was like, oh, bro, yeah, I'm not about to tell you.
I try to compete with you in judo, you're going to crush me.
Exactly. So I submit.
Right.
And, jiu-jitsu is a constant process of submitting to higher levels. So I'm like, we are literally trained to have, and on top of being FOI, we're literally trained to have this internalized psychology of submitting to higher levels of authority and power.
And it's not personal.
It's not personal at all.
It's in respect of the knowledge.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And that's all that it is.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
And like, I look at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's position about, the government, like white people, and say in general.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't put any blame on them and what they do and our position.
Yeah.
So it's no blame. He said they doing what they do.
Facts.
Right? It's doing what they made to do.
What they made to do.
Doing what they feel is right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And we can't do anything about that.
No.
All we can do is try to get more educated, more unified,
Yeah.
and then try to put into place programs
Boom.
that'll benefit us in a better
Facts.
way.
Facts. Facts.
Nothing personal.
That's right.
And I swear, Adam, to see you like get along in society, like most black people don't do MMA,
No, hell no.
right?
No.
They don't do it, and they don't train it. Like when you go to a gym, you're not going to see a bunch of black people there.
No.
Jiu-jitsu gyms are very expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're not cheap.
No, they ain't.
And to be in that atmosphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, show tremendous respect for everyone there.
No, for real.
because it's not any personal affront on anyone due to race, creed, color. If we did that, then we'd be a devil,
Yeah. No, for real. For real.
right?
Yeah.
So I never have any personal blame, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do the best
No,
that I
facts.
can,
Nah.
right? To elevate our downtrodden people,
Facts.
right? It is true that we've been through like a lot in
Went through
this
a lot.
country,
That's right.
and we deserve better.
Facts.
So it's going to happen either through the heartstrings of the government, say, "Oh, we feel so bad for you guys. What happened?
It's okay.
We're going to do something for you."
Yeah.
Or they may feel they've done enough, right?
Hey. And what Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, as long as the white man is housing and feeding you, he ain't responsible for anything above that, bro. You feel me? And I'm like, I'm with him on that.
Okay. So he said he's feel like that's how he feels. That's his reality.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, well that's not enough, man. We're still not where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to work.
Let's go to work.
Let's go to work, bro.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work. And what I've realized is like, it's easier to talk and to flout on Instagram than to actually go to actually put in work, to farm, to administer, to do all these things. And I know this firsthand because people will talk about blah, blah, blah nation, talk all this black Asiatic talk. But then when you actually present them the opportunity that they need to better their condition, and it requires, whether it's a job application or something, some form of work, because work is monotonous. Work is not flashy and Instagram.
No.
Work is work.
No, it's a grind.
Then it's crickets. It's like, oh, you don't want to work. Oh, you don't actually want to be a fighter. You just wanted to say, your ego wanted you to say it, and you wanted to validate yourself by lying to yourself about your intentions. Right?
Right.
That's really what it is, bro.
You see the posts and people, like, what do they call it? Playing the race card. It's like you can feel whatever way you want.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, if you really that mad, we got a program you can come to and help us.
We got a program.
Change this paradigm.
Clearly articulated.
Crickets.
Crickets.
Just like it's crickets when, oh man, Adam stepped in the ring and did that. I want to do that. Here, let me just describe to you what it's going to take to do that. Now, I'll be here on this day when you want to start that process.
Yeah.
And
Crickets.
no show up.
It's crickets. And I expect, now I'm in a point where I expect crickets, and I expect we're in the time where the real niggas are standing up. The real niggas are coming to the table and being like, all right, I see it's happening now. Where do I fit in? Because it's not going to be everyone. It ain't everyone. Hell no.
And you know what, Adam? I think we should touch a little on like the key ingredient, which I think, and then let me know if you agree with this.
Yeah.
Unity.
Be specific. Unity.
Okay. You have, say, a whole nation of Black Americans, right?
Yeah.
In that like group of people, you have tons of people with all types of talent, with all types of ideas, with all types of resources, both mental and physical resources and financial resources. Unity is bringing those people together for a common cause.
Boom.
That's what I look at it as. So say you got one guy over here doing his thing and say working at some at Kaiser at some hospital, just an awesome, black surgeon. And he said, yeah, I would love to make a difference. I would love to work in a hospital. I mean, I know black people suffer from a lot of maladies. If I could just focus my energy and just help my people, and then maybe we can build some economic reality and get better medical care and blah, blah, blah. Then you got a guy over here who's a black billionaire. Well, how are we going to bring those? And then we got a guy over here who's black construction guy.
Yeah.
How are we going to bring those three guys together to build some hospitals?
Yeah.
Okay. Got black farmer. All right. And then we got a black guy who owns a fleet of trucks. All right. Then we got black guy that owns a bunch of factories. How do we bring those guys together so this guy grows it? Then we process it in the factories. Then we put it on the trucks and bring it to, right?
Business structure, administration, strategic plan. Right?
That's what it takes,
That's
right?
what it takes. I answered the question.
And so I think, Adam, that is the biggest thing. Because, let me give you an example. And I told you this. Why, I started thinking about this really hard. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us already that our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So I'm a big comic book guy. Love comics since I was a child. Super into comics. So when the first Black Panther movie came out, I thought it was kind of weird, right? I loved that as a child, a 6th, 7th grader. The same people who told me I was a goofy weirdo when I loved comics as a child were doing this and going Wakanda forever as grown-ass men. I thought that was the goofiest shit of all times, right? I'm like, you were just teasing me about me reading this when we were kids and supposed to be doing this. Now you a grown-ass man doing it, dressing up in African gear, going to the movies and saying, Wakanda. Don't you know it's a fictional place? So everybody's writing posts, Wakanda, woo, this is great. And I'm blasting the post, right? Don't you know in Wakanda, only black people are allowed to be citizens? That's unlike America.
Yeah.
You call that discrimination. You call it reverse racism. How can you love Wakanda and Wakanda is like, so I'm hitting the post and I'm going in.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in Wakanda.
No.
And one of my classmates hit me back. Think of one of my frat brothers.
Yeah.
He told me, you don't understand. I said, well, what is it I don't understand?
Yeah.
He says, black people want a Wakanda.
Yeah.
We just don't want to build it. If it's already built, we'll come.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? You mean you have I make $100,000 now. You have $100,000 job for me, all around my own kind of people, in my own kind of country, where I'll have all this opportunity. All right, America, bye. I'm going to Wakanda.
Yeah.
But if it ain't built yet, I gotta stay here. I can't. But we can build it, dude. Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm not willing to sacrifice.
No, I'm not willing. And that is unfortunately a majority right now. But we're finding the ones that are willing to take that initial step. And we're here. And if we build it, which we are, they will come.
It's going to happen because it's in the heart and spirit of the people.
Exactly.
And it's going to happen because the inequities and injustice is real. So when you talk about freedom, justice, and equality, we're talking about the essence of the human spirit.
Yes.
Anytime you have a human being that is denied any of those qualities, they will work to overcome that.
That's right.
And to acquire them.
That's right.
So it's going to happen.
That's right.
Freedom, justice, and equality is going to happen for all of humanity, meaning everyone.
That's right.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
and we're responsible for ushering in that paradigm.
Yeah, and whoever serves as a force against that, at the end probably won't prosper.
No, no,
At the end of the day.
no. And it'll only serve to just strengthen us in our intention in ushering in this this universe. So
Sure.
good luck.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
And maybe one day we can talk about it, because I would like to talk about how that's a reality that scientists are realizing. It occurs on a genetic level.
See, that's interesting.
No.
That's interesting.
I'm talking about your genes are actually programmed to respond in a certain manner to gain those human qualities for yourself.
For freedom, justice, and equality?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's also not surprising.
Absolutely.
Not surprising.
You have genetic markers
Yeah.
where those qualities can be suppressed or they can be expressed.
Yes, sir.
You always work to express them.
Understood.
So maybe we could talk about that one day, but that's what you talk about, the human spirit.
Understand.
If you're denied that, that's why in original societies we never had jails.
Understand.
You don't go to Egypt. Oh, we uncovered a jail. But then they'll tell you, oh, because nobody ever did crime. Yeah, some people did crime. Now, the level of crime was much lower in those types of society, right? But it occurred. So you say, well, what did they do with the people that did that? And jail is not the answer. Yeah. Why? Because jail denies you freedom. Damn. That's why recidivism rate is so high.
That's right.
Right? Jail is not the answer. Yeah. Well, I thought you were supposed to go in jail and it rehabilitates you. Oh, guys, just go right back. Yeah. People just go right back. Jails are always full. Mm-hmm. Why? Because when you deny somebody freedom, you make a worse human being.
That's right.
When you're denying them those qualities.
That's right.
So we just never had them.
That's right.
Never had old folks' homes.
Damn. Yep. Wow.
We uncovered this old folks. So when people got old, they would just send them all there. Yeah. Never. It's not a part of original man's culture.
No, sir. By no stretch.
Nothing.
By no stretch.
Nope. Nothing.
It's the trappings of a culture of a death society, man. Yeah. Jails, old folks' homes, these are all things that just hasten one towards death.
Yep. Right. This is the society, say more Western types of societies are built on rabid individualism.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good way to put it.
So you have to, each individual is responsible for acquiring much wealth as they can for themselves. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'll look at Floyd Mayweather's post and I'm like, how many houses? Like, I stay here like once a month, 25 bedrooms, 18 baths. Yeah. Like then you got homeless people. I mean, you just look at the scale. It's like this guy's way over here and this guy's here. But that's what we try to do, right, in this society. And that's how you're judged to be successful. Yeah. If you got a whole bunch of wealth. Yeah. In original culture, so say more Eastern-based culture, in the original man's culture, if you were rich, you know how you were judged? How much you gave back on the things on the things that you built.
It's a good metric.
So it's just kind of like different paradigm.
Yes, sir.
So
we going now.
Yes, sir.
Let's close it out.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to close it out?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes, sir.
All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the most merciful Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. It is Thee alone we serve, and Thee alone we beseech for Thy divine aid. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those who Thou hast bestowed Thy favors, not the path of those who Thy wrath is brought down, nor those that go astray. O Allah, we thank You for bringing us together, for these words, for the knowledge that we spread. Anything we said that is of value, anything that we said that promoted truth and justice and upliftment of the human spirit, we give You all the credit. Any mistakes we may have made are all our fault, and we'll work to improve. We thank you for this time we spent together. Ameen.
Ameen, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu
All
Akbar.
praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.